You are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact, and more revenue in your business. Tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Okay, troops, you have been lied to that you need big budgets and really complicated things to create impact and amplify your marketing message. Well, today we're going to turn that completely on its head and talk about what if that wasn't true? What if you could use organic, effective strategies to really fuel your business growth? And I'm really excited to introduce to you a very good friend of mine, somebody I've collaborated with on many occasions, who is a great marketer, a great individual, a great human being. Please welcome to our program, Mr. Michael Pacheco from Boxer Media. Welcome to the program.
Who, me?
This is you, my friend.
How's it going, Christine? Good to see you.
It is awesome. It's great to be sharing space with you. And this time we are on the other side of the flip side. Yes. Michael runs a couple of great podcasts, guys. Make sure you go find them. We have played together before. But Michael, I want to ask you, because one of the things I love about what you guys do is that you take marketing and simplify it so that we actually create more results. And talk to us a little bit about why so many people have it backwards.
So good question. Well, this wasn't really a question. It was a prompt. Good prompt. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Like you and I were talking about this before we hit record. There's dozens of ways to skin a cat, right? There's not one formula that works. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. We have found a way that involves being your authentic self, creating content, helping to solve your ideal client's problems, and simply publishing that content, promoting it, boosting those posts if they're being engaged with very well. And what we have found that does, if you do it consistently, if you do it across multiple platforms, specifically meeting your ideal clients, meeting your customers where they're at, it builds trust, it builds authority, and it simplifies the sales cycle.
This is interesting because I think what I hear from you is it's not an overnight thing, and it is about committing to the journey, because trust is something that is earned. And trust, when there is a disconnect, whether it's across platforms, across messaging, across who you are, you don't end up with the sales success. So how do you think we begin building trust? What is the first foundation that everybody listening to our program today needs to really sit with? Because without trust, you do not have client growth.
I think step number one is figure out what you've got to say without BSing people, right? Authenticity is so important in this process. Christine, I think you are a wonderful example of someone who does this. You kind of live this. You put out a lot of content, and your content is helpful for your ideal client. And what does it do? I'm guessing it builds a lot of trust with people that are not your customers today, but maybe they are next week or next month or next quarter or next year.
Absolutely. This is something where we've talked about it here on the platform before. The stats are pretty staggering, pretty shocking for many. 3% of people are ready to buy today. And so a big part of being successful in building audiences of buyers is to curate conversation, to curate this. And I loved how simply you said it. Authenticity is banded around as a word, but it really is about drop the BS. Right. Are your actions congruent with the song that you tell us you're singing from?
Yeah, I think it's important for me personally to qualify what I'm talking about anytime I use the word authenticity, because that word is kind of become a buzzword and it gets thrown around all the time in the last, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, give or take. To the point where people say it so much, maybe it's lost a little bit of its meaning. Simplify the heck out of it. Just drop the BS. Be who you are.
I love it, guys. That's something you could take to the bank and thank Michael for the introduction to that simplicity, because this is the truth. All of us as consumers have a really high BS barometer, and
Mhm.
we are looking for people to guide us to solutions. And you mentioned that as well. If I feel I can trust you, if I feel you know how to get there, and if I feel that you're a human being, flawed, imperfect, but work in progress, I am more
Mhm.
likely to want to engage in your content. And I want to,
Mhm.
kind of explore your thoughts on what is content marketing? How do you do it well? And how do you really live your values in great content?
So the way that I like to think about it as a marketing strategist is considering your you look at your ideal client or your ideal customer and you think about the kinds of problems that you already solve for them
Mhm.
and give it away. That's it. It's kind of that easy. Help them solve smaller problems and they will come to you for the bigger ones, right? Whatever you know, whatever knowledge you have, give that away. 9 times out of 10, the reason, especially for a service-based business, I think I should maybe specify that, right? Especially for service-based businesses, we specialize working with coaches, speakers, thought leaders, book authors, um, and if you're answering questions that your ideal client or your ideal customer has, and you're helping them solve simple problems, that's that's gonna build trust with them. That's gonna build authority with them. And circling back to what I was saying before, it also simplifies the sales cycle because when it comes time that they want to pay someone to solve this bigger problem, right? That falls within your realm, you're going to be on the tip of their tongue, on the top of their mind, and it's not going to be as much a sales conversation as it is going to be a fit conversation. It becomes a conversation of, is this a good fit? Are we a good fit together? Is this the right time? Right? Is this the right time for us to be working together? Is the timing correct?
I think this is really important because often the hear that a comment that I hear time and time again is, I don't want to give all my best stuff away.
Hmm.
And so we think that we get, and this is subversive and not authentic. Just listen to this. It's subversive and not authentic to say, I'm going to hide stuff from you intentionally because that's just not cool, my peeps. It's just not cool. Don't do it. I love that you're suggesting to give it all away and
Hmm.
to give it away with the trust that their first step will lead to others. You have to have faith that you can step into the deeper end. And when you are building trust, you don't want to start by trading. You
Sure.
want to start by generosity.
Yeah. Avoid the sacrifice and avoid the compromise. There's no reason to not give it all away. You think it's a if you're afraid of giving it all away, you're starting out from a scarcity mindset. And that's not the right place to be in business at all, right? It's
Mhm.
not. Um, and the fact of the matter is, by giving it all away, people are lazy. When you give it all away, they're gonna see that you know your stuff. They're gonna see that you can solve their problems. People, they've got their own business to run, right? Or they've got their own job to go to, their own 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. They've got their own stuff to worry about. They're gonna hire you because you've proven to them like I know my stuff. I've given it. You give it all away. It just I have not in more than a decade of doing this. Um, I haven't seen the person steal the idea and run to the patent office and patent it and then take over the world. It's just this is like these little niggling thoughts in the back of your mind that you think if I give away what I know, someone else is going to take it. It's not.
No, it's not true. And I remember a client of mine, when she first came to me, we met through a networking event, and I had just had a kind of a get to know you conversation. And then she came back to me several months later. She'd been consuming my content. And, as you know, I create a lot of content to
Mhm.
help people because I honestly, genuinely want more of us to succeed. That is the heart of why I show up to do what I do. And she said, you misunderstand. I want to hire you. And I was like, she's like, save all these great ideas. Help me implement them because knowledge is not the problem. And
Mhm.
one of the most important pieces of advice I was given in my business journey was, don't give somebody a band-aid when they need open heart surgery. Give the
Mhm.
value.
Sure.
The value is solving the problem and recognize that the first problem is not the only problem to solve.
Mhm.
But building trust in that first early days and to just give with open generosity will enable you to have conversations. And that's where I love what you just said, which is the conversation then becomes, is this a fit? Is
Mhm.
this now? Is this the priority? And that's, my friends, when they're a buyer. And
Mhm.
remember, you've always got to be able to address in the conversation, where are they in their journey? Are they curious or are they ready to be receiving an offer?
Mhm.
And when we're helping people figure out, is it a fit? A big part of this can be what you put out from content, but specifically on social media and the website. And you think that the two need to work together to see the best impact. Let's talk a little bit about that.
They do. I want to before we do that, I want to circle back to what you said there real quick about the Band-Aid versus open heart surgery. I think that's a brilliant metaphor. And you can think of your content marketing as giving away Band-Aids, right? Just make hundreds and hundreds of Band-Aids and
And random.
give those away, right? Because you can't give away open heart surgery in one social media video, right? So when I'm saying give it all away, I'm not saying like create a 12-hour long video and you know and publish that and like here it is, here's everything. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, just don't be afraid to solve people's problems for free because that's never ever going to not work in your favor. It's a double
Mhm.
negative there, but I think you see what I'm trying to get
I
at.
do absolutely see it. And this is an important thing because truthfully, if knowledge was the problem,
Right.
we would all not be where we are, which is short of our potential or short of our hoped for expectations and goals. There's a
Yeah.
gap. That gap is implementation. It's generally not knowledge. Don't ever be afraid to share your knowledge.
Hmm.
When the time comes for implementation, the chances are you're right. They're either busy, distracted, or they simply need help.
There you go. Yeah.
And you need to position yourself as the person who is the right guide. So now let me take you back to social media and the website. Let's talk about that.
Yes, yes. So, as this is an area that I see a lot of people in my sphere um, kind of ignoring is the website stuff, right? A lot of these people that I work with focus on LinkedIn or Instagram or a couple other social media properties, and they'll really do well on social media. And then a prospect learns about you on social media, what are they going to do? What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to open up a new tab and they're going to Google that name.
Yes.
That's just the way that it works. Where it's 2023 now, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So having, I mean, it's just a one-two punch, and it becomes really this kind of snowball effect, where the social media content that you create can be turned into blog posts on your website. Though those blog posts will make it easier to find you on Google. Um, it's like a compounding interest effect.
Mhm.
One feeds the other, and when your website works like a magnet, when your social media works as a method to inform. That's the middle of the funnel, right? When people want to purchase or when they want to schedule a call with you, right? For our service providers that are watching this, um, being able to go to your website and have your website users, your website visitors take the actions that you want them to take, whether that's join your email list, schedule a call. Usually it's one of those two things, again, with the people in our sphere. Um, but whatever the action is that you want them to take, set up your website so that they can do that and reduce as much friction as possible.
This is key. The website is, people ask me often as a business mentor, do I need a website? I'm unequivocal, and the answer is yes,
Hmm.
because you are renting space on social media. And you're right. The
Hmm.
first thing I'm going to do is, where else are you? And that's a trust build. I'm
Mhm.
on multiple places. But when you're on multiple places, it does add complexity. And I will invite you, especially if you're working with me as a mentor, let's audit to ensure, and I mean regularly, that the address, comment, direction of one platform shows up on the website.
Mhm.
Because often, if we don't see the same pictures or at least the same face, style shoot, we're going, is that the same person? I'm not
Mhm.
sure. And if the messaging is off, you've lost them because they're
So
going,
yeah,
what's
what you're
happening?
what you're talking about is consistency in branding, consistency in messaging.
Mhm.
And you want to show up if you're going to be on multiple platforms regularly, you want to show up in full effect on those platforms. You want your color schemes to be the same, right? You're going to want your picture, right? Your face to look the same, or the logo of your business, right? Depending on what it is you do.
Mhm.
You want that consistency in branding and messaging 100%.
And to check it as it evolves because it does. Content, and remember, your consumer, your potential buyer, is going to find things in sequences you never imagined.
Yep.
They might find content like this one 5 years from now, and they're going to say, is that still the same person? We want to still be able to connect the journey for them because that will inherently build trust and
Hmm.
show that we are evolving and that is an authentic connection point. And
Hmm.
so social media is a great tool, but please make the ecosystem your website. You want, as I'm hearing from you, the actions to be taking place on the website and to make it as smooth as you can to get them to take the next step. And the next step, yes, we'd love to have calls, we'd love to have book clients, but it's also small steps that feel safe.
Hmm.
Another resource, another band aid, another solution, another way to build that momentum. And
Hmm.
I want to ask you one unexpected question. I'm going to throw you right into the deep end just because I'd
Do
love
it.
to do that to you because it's fair trade. What do you think is the elephant in the room with your clients right now? We have a complex market. We have some people really struggling to amplify their marketing message. As you see it in your business as a media agency and as a marketing agency, what's the elephant in the room that people simply need convincing that this is not a luxury, this is a necessity?
Yeah, I love that question. Right now, I love that question because I don't have a quick and easy answer for it. Um, One of the things that we are pivoting on right now is a move away from the brand, the business brand, and toward personal branding. So it's with a number of our clients, as well as with Boxer. Actually, we're making a pivot with Boxer to Michael Pacheco, to my personal branding as well, to focus more on the individual, and then the businesses that are then associated with that individual will get a knock-on effect from
Mhm.
right from the growth of the individual as opposed to the growth of the business, right? So as I become more trustworthy, as I become more authoritative, um, you know, by association, so does Boxer, so does my company, and so do my other companies. Um, and the reason why we're doing that is because we have tested it and it works. And it is my belief that the reason why that works is because people do business with people. People don't do business with other businesses. Um, if you're, scrolling on Instagram or even LinkedIn, whatever, you're more likely to interact with a face and a name than you are with a logo and a business name.
I think that's a great insight. I always tell my clients, if you're going to lead with your company name, I want you to be a byline in
Hmm.
the graphic, in the
Hmm.
story, so that people can connect to the person behind the lead face. And that will help you evolve in both ways.
I would even flip that, and
Interesting.
I want to be clear that we're not stopping promotion or marketing for businesses.
Mhm.
We're just leading
Leading.
with a face.
Love it.
We're leading with a human, and we've seen initial results. It looked fantastic on it, and we're making that shift with more of our clients now.
I love it. This actually might tie into the final question I always ask all of my guests. And what is working for you now? Is the thing working for you now this shift for you, which is personal branding and keeping a face for people to connect to, the thing that's making growth happen for you? Or is
Yep.
there something else you'd like to provide an insight
So
around?
that's one. There's a few things that are working really well for us right now. That's definitely one of them. Another one is encouraging our clients, whether it's a business account or a personal account, to spend more of their social media, let's call it social media real estate, social media posts, celebrating others. It's one thing to constantly deliver value and constantly solve problems for your ideal client. I think it's fantastic. It works. It's a whole another thing. It's a whole nother thing to celebrate someone for anything. A happy birthday, a success in someone else's business that has nothing to do with yours. And the reason why this works so well is because you can tag them on it, you can tag their business on it, on that post, which brings in their audience into the conversation. Engagement grows geometrically. Your reach grows exponentially. It is something we have seen a lot of success with is celebrating others. And you can see why. It's social media. It's supposed to be social. It's not
Oh, thank goodness.
doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But it's one of those things, right? Like if you haven't done it, it's not an obvious thing to do. But now that I've said it out loud, it's like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yes. And I want to create a movement right here, right now on Amplify Your Marketing Message. I want you to do two things. I want you to think about the personal brand, and I want you to celebrate others, spread some good in the world. Honestly, it will just lift us all. Michael, how do people find you and your business?
Website's boxer.agency. And my personal website is michaelpacheco.co. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Michael Pacheco. That's it.
Awesome. Guys, please connect to Michael. This has been another great episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message. We've been talking about the fact that you can be highly effective with your marketing using organic strategies. It is about trust, authority, just being the human, dropping the BS, because truly social connection is what will fuel your growth. Thanks for being with us, Michael. Everyone, we will see you on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.